Hey guys, Brian and Christy from Ben & Brewing here. Want to do a quick disclaimer or public service announcement before this video we're doing. Had a lot of fun making it, but we did have one of our local Arizona brewers that we really enjoy, really like. We were testing one of their beers and didn't quite turn out as we'd hoped or as we'd expected. So stay tuned to the end of the video so you can see how this particular Arizona brewery handled the situation and kind of made things right for us. So stay tuned.
Should we hold it up like YouTubers do?
Like, I had this great pen I used. Do you see it? Do you see it? I got you. I got you. Here you go.
Thank
you. There you go. If you just hold it in front of me, I think I'm big enough. Look how tiny this can is. So, Christy, as you can see, I went out and did a little bit of shopping yesterday. I wanted to see if we could find some low-calorie, low-carb beers as alternative from a craft's perspective, and figured we'd do a review, do some tastings, go down and see what tastes like what, and what kind of styles are out there. This was just a quick shopping trip through Total Wine, which was actually a little bit more difficult than I thought, but yeah, we get to taste all these beers today.
Yay! I love my job.
Yeah, right?
And it is swimsuit season.
All right, so the first beer we're going to try out actually comes from Dogfish Head. It's their Slightly Mighty, which you and I have had before. It's been a while, though. I don't think we've had it in a while.
I think that was the one where you decided to go low carb on me, and I was miserable for like 2 months.
Okay, so Dogfish Head, right?
Uh-huh.
So it was interesting when I was going through and looking at all the beers. The majority of the light stuff that's out there is like hazy IPA. Which I guess makes sense. I mean, they don't really do the darker beers, you know, light. They can lighten these up, though, so cheers. Sorry. I was already getting into it. I'm like, oh.
It smells like an IPA.
It does. Really good hop presence. Fades out very quickly.
I feel like a lot of IPAs are too heavy where if you were, like, let's say on a lake or by a pool, you couldn't even imagine drinking it.
Especially, like, nowadays with the IPAs, because they put so much hops in those. You got to balance it with that residual sweetness, otherwise it'll just clean out your taste buds. So they're big beers. So
this is actually
it's not bad at all.
It's very light, crisp.
95 calories, 3.1 grams of carbs, about 4% alcohol.
Wow.
So it's definitely sessionable. All right, so the next beer we're looking at doing is the FlyJack from Firestone Walker, and it is a hazy IPA. Again, you're gonna see a lot of that this today, and it's 96 calories, 5 grams of carbs, so a little bit bigger than the Slightly Mighty, and still finishing at about 4% ABV, so it's still within that range.
I'm expecting a lot from this one.
Firestone Walker. Love me some Firestone Walker.
Brewery.
I know.
Non-local. I love our local breweries
right.
first, but gotta love Firestone Walker. It has a totally different flavor.
Yeah, not as sharp. It's a softer bitterness. Don't you think? Don't mock me. Whatever.
No, I'm not mocking you. I gotta say, I'm a little bit disappointed in this one. If I had to choose between the Dogfish Head and the FlyJack, I would probably pick Slightly Mighty.
I think so. It is softer. I mean, I wouldn't classify it as a pale ale. It's definitely hoppier than that.
No, this is, I mean, it serves a purpose. I personally would never buy a 6-pack of this.
Well, I did.
You bought a lot of 6-packs.
I did. I went crazy. It's a good beer. Nothing wrong with it at all, and I love Firestone Walker. I don't know if this would be one that I would go to if I was looking for something lighter, honestly. All right, Christy, so our next beer is from Boulevard Brewing Company, and I actually had not had any experience or even seen this before, so it's Easy Sport.
Wow. I didn't know that Boulevard made low-calorie beer. Have you had any Boulevard beers?
I don't think so, no.
Oh my gosh, you're amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beer with tangerine peel and sea salt. So it has electrolytes.
Excellent. What type of beer is this? What style?
A rally ale. No, really, it says rally. A clean, balanced, tangy. We'll find out when we taste it.
Sounds good.
I think this is supposed to be a blonde ale.
Okay. Well, that'll be nice. Let's change it up a little bit.
This is 99 calories, 4.5 grams of carbs, and again, about 4% alcohol.
That's not bad at all.
It is very clear. And we're fine. I mean, everything's around that same color, right? That nice light yellow. How's it smell? Ah, I remembered.
Thank you. It smells exactly what you'd expect a blonde ale to smell like.
Mm-hmm. I get a little sharpness, a little grainy.
Ooh. I don't know if it's because we just started out with 2 IPAs, but I really like this.
It's got a little tart to it. That's very refreshing.
I like it.
It doesn't taste like a light beer, but you know the others have kind of had a little bit of a lesser taste to it. This does taste lighter, but it doesn't taste watered down.
I think here's the deal with the IPAs. It's like our palates are so used to being over-hopped almost with every IPA. So I think those are a little harder to judge because they are quite a bit lighter. This is a beer that I think I would order. I could see like drinking this out at the pool or on a boat or something.
Especially in Arizona, especially the heat.
Barbecue or grilling.
This would be very great to drink on a hot day. It's refreshing. And barbecue, yeah.
Yeah. And the tangerine comes out. I taste the citrus.
It does. That's that bitterness.
I'm not sure if I get the sea salt, but I definitely get the tangerine.
Which I'm glad.
No, I'm so glad you got this. Tangy, that's what it says on here too. Clean, balanced, tangy. It's all 3 of those things.
It is. It's very clean. It finishes clean. That's a great beer. That's delightful.
This is a...
Did I just say delightful?
Yeah.
I did. All right, so for our next beer, we are bringing it local, Four Peaks, with their Gilt lifter. Okay,
first off, love the name.
Right?
That is amazing.
That's clever. That's funny. And I never noticed this before, but at the bottom of the can it says, "Wee Little Lifter."
That's adorable. So obviously it's going to be a...
It's a Scottish ale.
Yeah, the lighter version of the Kilt lifter.
The lighter version of the Kilt lifter, yeah.
Which, oh my gosh, back in the day, I drank a lot of Kilt lifter. So it was their highest ABV beer at that time, too.
Yeah, well, it was probably one of the first ones that I really started drinking as I was getting into the craft beer thing, you know.
Yeah.
And it was amazing to have something so local that was so good.
And am I reading that right? Is it the ABV, did you say 3.4?
Yes.
Wow.
I don't know where you saw that. You have great eyes. 99 calories, 3.4 ABV.
That's crazy.
I looked, I couldn't find how many carbs are in this.
Don't worry about it.
Nobody cares. But I want to know. All right, so this one, very clear. Obviously, they filter. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
The color is on par to what you'd expect from Kilt lifter.
It's got a little more red to it.
Yeah.
Like a Scottish ale. Very light. We shouldn't get much hops out of this at all, which is interesting. Considering we've done the IPAs and the blonde, which tend to be a little bit more hop forward, this is supposed to be more malt forward.
Right.
As a style.
Which is why I'm excited to kind of cleanse our palates again. And it's good that we went from the tangerine to this. So.
I don't think they put sea salt in this, though. Yeah.
Not from the Scottish seaside to
Sounds
space
like
side.
Space side.
Like a good Scotch. Naturally salty from that space side. That smells like Kilt lifter.
It does.
This is really good.
It is good.
Yeah. In a way, I almost like this one better than Kilt lifter.
Really?
Yeah.
It finishes clean. It fades very quickly on the palate. There's malt in there. I don't know how they did that.
Yeah.
It's very light, but it has a malty backbone.
It does.
Interesting.
It's crazy. No, it's not off-putting at all.
Mm-mm.
And it is, I mean, considering how high of an ABV regular Gilt lifter has, the fact that this is...
Oh, it's 3.4, that's right.
3.4.
So when you think of it's less than 100 calories, 3.4% ABV, it doesn't taste like a 3.4.
No, it does not. It actually tastes kind of... It's like lighter than Gilt lifter, but it doesn't taste light, if that makes sense. Like, it's very flavorful. It almost has the feel of a heavier beer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you, hadn't had Gilt lifter before and were just drinking this and not realizing it was a lighter beer, I don't think you would peg it as a low calorie.
Not at all.
Mm-mm.
Luckily, this one, too, you can find pretty much anywhere. I've seen this at Whole Foods.
Oh, it's like all over the place.
Four Peaks is everywhere.
Yeah, this one is very easy to find. The others were challenging. All right, next one is another one that I haven't heard of, from a beer anyway, not the brewery. I've heard of the brewery. Deschutes, out of Oregon. So it's called Wowza.
I love that beer name.
Locale, hazy pale ale. So away from the hazy IPAs, now we're doing a hazy pale ale. So 4% alcohol, 4 grams of carbs, 100 calories.
You can smell the hops.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Pale ale, that smells like an IPA.
That smells like an IPA. This smells more like an IPA than the other one.
Yes, it does. It does. Very citrusy, which I like. I don't get a lot of hop flavor.
I don't. It smells hop.
It's all aroma, which is probably why it's pale ale, because it's not super bitter.
No. I don't want to say it's disappointing, but I think that the aroma doesn't match the flavor at all.
It's a little misleading because you get that nice citrusy aroma. It's a good beer. I just don't know if it is right for my palate.
Correct.
Right?
There's nothing wrong with it.
Mm-mm.
I don't think I could see myself ever buying this beer or even being able to finish like a full can of it.
Mm-mm.
But I think for a lot of people they would like it.
Yeah.
It
is approachable. It's not offensive. It's not going to be over the top.
I definitely think that, and in our defense, we did start out with hoppier, like IPA flavors.
That's true.
So it's hard to go back and be like, okay, this is. I mean, if we had started with this might have been a different story. But since
that's a fair point. That's a very fair point.
Yeah.
I was trying to do it from a calorie standpoint because I figured the more calories it would have as you go down the list, the stronger the flavor would come through. But maybe we should have started based on just style.
Right. Because this is, I think, more genuine. Like you said, it's a true pale ale.
Mm-hmm. That means we'll have to do this all over again.
Oh,
different order.
It's totally fine.
Yeah. Right. So the next one we're going to do is from Oskar Blues out of Colorado. It's 1Y, ONE-Y. So I'm not sure how that's pronounced. 1Y, 1E. It is an IPA. 100 calories, hazy IPA, about 4% alcohol, so it's kind of in line with everything else.
Ooh. Wow.
That's good.
That is really good. Yeah. You get everything you would get out of an IPA from this beer.
But it doesn't taste watered. I mean, it doesn't taste watered down.
Right.
I mean, it tastes light.
Right.
But it doesn't taste watered down.
But
There's flavor.
Yeah. I'm getting a flavor bomb in this beer.
Wow. What is this? This is 100 calories, 4% alcohol. So it's in line with everything else. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so right off the bat, when I taste it at least, I taste the malt. I taste the malty flavor.
It has a mouthfeel to it.
Right.
It's compared to the other ones which have been a little bit watery, this actually has like some mouthfeel.
It actually kind of like, well, it's our reaction. Like it kind of kicks you in the face a little, in the teeth a little bit.
It's like full flavored.
Yeah.
It's light. Again, but it just the feeling in my mouth is like this is a lighter beer, but it's got a lot going on. There's a lot of flavor to it. Wow, I'm really enjoying this.
I would say out of all the beers we tried today, So far,
this is my favorite so far.
Favorite.
Yeah. All right, Christy, so last but not least, we have a beer from Bell's, Light-Hearted Ale. But this is an IPA as well, about 110 calories. This is at the top end of the carb count. So most of the stuff we've looked at has had between like 3 to 5.
Right.
This is coming at 8.7. Still 4% ABV. I'm curious to see if this higher carb comes with more flavor.
Cheers.
Cheers.
This one definitely has more of a copper color, I think.
Very clear.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like this one misses the mark on being an IPA. I kind of taste like a, you know how a lot of beers have like a kind of metallic taste to it?
Yes.
I've got that on.
A little bit. Maybe it's more from the hops they used, which has got to be hard to balance not having the malt that's in there normally, you know, that sweetness.
It's not a bad.
It has a good aroma.
It's not a bad beer. It just doesn't feel like it fits in the style of an IPA. Almost more like a red ale.
I could see that. Yes, with a little bit of the sharpness that's in there. It's still a good beer.
No, 100%.
By, don't get me wrong, by any stretch. That is still a very good beer.
It's very satisfying.
And it's not fair for this beer because we've gone through like 7 others before reaching this one. So, well, taste bud fatigue. These are really good.
Yeah.
This was a good little experiment.
This was fun.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So, like, for me to recap, I feel like all of the beers that were chosen were great picks. Thank you, Brian. But I feel like for me, there were a couple standouts. Yes.
Definitely the Four Peaks, the Oskar Blues, the One-E. I'm probably messing that up so bad, but they did a fantastic job with their beer. It had, for such a light, low-carb beer, it was a very full mouth feel with the flavor.
And that Boulevard.
And Boulevard Brewing, yes, with the salt. It was a good blonde ale. It was very good.
Yeah. I would order that even if it wasn't low-cal. If you have any suggestions on good low-cal beers that you've tried, let us know, because we are both trying to drink less carb.
Some more than others.
I try. Yeah.
And I know there's others out there. I know there's more than that. This is just one store that I happen to go into. So anything that's recommended, you know, definitely let us know. We'll take a look at it, and maybe there's some other styles out there that we haven't even touched on. It'd be awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Cheers.
All right, guys, so the moment you've all been waiting for. We have our local Arizona brewery that I mentioned in the beginning, the Lolo Hazy IPA. Now, when we first picked this up from Total Wine and we poured it, we were a little taken aback by the flavor. It wasn't quite right. And there was actually little kind of floaties that were kind of floating around in there. It was a little off-putting, frankly. But we know, Huss is a local brewery. They have a big following here in Arizona. We've drank a lot of their beers, and we do enjoy them. So we had Vanessa of the Fame Brew Crew. She actually reached out to Chip from Huss and let him know about the particular batch. So he called us back and asked for, on the bottom of the can, the can by date and kind of the number of the batch. And let us know that the can actually was a little bit out of date, and they should be rotating things on the shelves. And so a tip for you, if you're going to get beers from any of the, even grocery stores, check the bottom and look at the bottle date or the can date to see how old it is. The one that we had grabbed off the shelf, which was why it tasted a little off and why it had some of those little floaties in there, was about 5-6 months old. So it was kind of past its prime and should have been pulled off. The can that we have today is actually about a month old. So as I mentioned, Vanessa reached out to Huss, emailed them, let them know. They got the date off of the can, and emailed us and said, listen, a couple things have happened. Here's probably what it is. It's too old. We're going to make it right. So they actually invited us to come in and sit in their tap room, give us a couple of pints, while they gave us a 6-pack, or even a 12-pack, actually, I think it was, of their beer, which is extremely generous and actually would have been a lot of fun. I wish we could have done that. Unfortunately, time constraints and things, we couldn't make it down there. So they did offer to send us a gift card to go back to Total Wine and replace the 6-pack and kind of do it again. So that's basically what we're doing today.
Yep.
So I'm excited to give this beer a honest try and see what the Lolo tastes like.
Yeah,
Are you ready?
Yes,
Do it.
ready.
I am ready. So as I'm getting this thing open, let's talk about the stats. Always important. So this is a 100-calorie hazy IPA. As I mentioned before, kind of a trend. ABV about 4% alcohol. You know, I looked in a number of places to find the carb count. Couldn't find it. But still, 100 calories. I'm assuming it's probably about the same as some of the other low-carb beers we've done.
Yes.
So
I think I'm going to reference back to when we tasted the Gilt Lifter that day. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, right?
It's still going to be lower than the other beers that
Oh,
we were drinking,
100%.
so.
Yes, definitely.
All right.
Let's give it a try. Cheers.
Yay, I'm so excited.
So definitely hazy. All right. Let's give it a go. Good hop aroma.
It's really good. It's a lot of flavor. There's a lot of flavor going on in
It is. It's less citrus than, at least from what I'm picking up, than a lot of the other beers that we've done. I get a little bit of grass, a little bit of pine.
I was going to say, this reminds me of, like, I think if you were one of the hop heads, those hop heads that like a piney finish to the beers, you'll like this one. It definitely has a piney.
It is a sharp finish, which is actually nice. I think some of the low-carb beers we've done maybe were a little soft in the finish. Which isn't a bad thing. I mean, I like those. This has a good sharpness to it. It's crisp.
It definitely tastes crisp.
That's what it is, yes.
And it's definitely not lacking flavor. There's a lot going on in this beer, I feel like.
Well, yeah, and especially when you look at the first time we went through it, it was a little off-putting. This is very good. So no, freshness definitely matters. So, you know, if you're out there, again, shopping for beers, check the date, because that makes a huge difference. You know, reaching out to those breweries, I was shocked at the response. I was happy with the response.
Super quick.
Super quick. So, you know, they really care about the product and care about the consumer, which is, it's awesome. So
let's go visit their tap room now.
Right. Oh,
downtown,
for sure.
the new one.
So thank you, Huss, for making it right.
You.
That's absolutely outstanding.
Chip, Leah, Jeff, thank you.
Thank you so much.